and adopt. Oh, that was a bit late, Kev. To consider and adopt the minutes of the previous AGM, to receive and consider the accounts and balance sheets and reports of the Management Committee and auditors, to elect members of the Management Committee, in place of those retiring, and also to elect additional members of the Management Committee, to elect auditors, and to provide some type of a report or feedback on Acita's activities. For any other business, an extraordinary general meeting needs to be called. The agenda is specific and short, so I do expect to be, giving you all back some time this morning. We've allocated way longer than what we normally need. I mean, these used to be tacked on as sort of 15 minutes before one of the national meetings every year. So I don't expect to take up more than about half an hour of your time to conclude our business. To proceed, a quorum of members needs to be present, and such a quorum shall consist of not less than 5 members, either in person or by proxy. We have that amount of members in attendance on this call, and I therefore declare Acita's 2021 AGM open. As a matter of interest, I mean, I actually looked this up last night. We were incorporated in 1985, so this should be our 36th AGM. Quite an achievement for a sort of completely voluntary organization. Before we get down to the actual agenda, I'd like to talk a little bit about Acita and what and how we've been operating over the last year. I mean, we all know the restrictions imposed on all of us by this global pandemic have been extremely challenging. I specifically remember getting Acita, I remember getting Zoom into place so we could host our first virtual event. It was such a frightening prospect for those of us that were born so long before the internet, but it wasn't, and it hasn't been as bad as expected. And I do believe that we've got quite good at using this and similar technologies. Let's not forget how critical, I mean, these virtual meetings were, and how we used and relied on this technology to get information to our members as the 1st of January 2021 approached, and we came to the end of the transition period. I mean, by way of example, I mean, TSS's first public event was at an Acita virtual meeting, and they continue to consider Acita as a critical communication platform. We've even had Irish Customs attend and present at our meetings. Government ministers and serving peers from the House of Lords have been amongst our speakers. We've had a host of European industry experts speak at our events. And I think a great one, and going forward, this is still happening at the moment. Let's not forget that HMRC have used us as a platform for ongoing CDS training, which continues and is going to be so critical as we move forward. We have maintained an excellent relationship with HMRC and the other associated regulatory authorities, and continue to work with them, and have, well, I have sympathy for the often near impossible tasks that government imposes on them. I'm not sure if everyone is aware. I mean, we were all expecting iPatch to kick off on the 1st of October. As so many businesses and our civil servants have all prepared for that. In yesterday's media, it looks like our government could be kicking that into touch again. So, we do have a lot of sympathy both for the civil servants and those of us that sort of try to prepare in this industry. We'll obviously continue to nurture these relationships and keep you, our members, abreast of all developments, as we approach what I think so many are calling the real Brexit, when border controls are imposed on the 1st of January 2022. So from me, a big thank you to my management committee and our secretariat for making this all possible. But let's get back to the agenda and the business of the day, and we'll start off with the minutes of the previous AGM. These have been available to all of you on the website, and unless anyone has any objections, I'd like to move to formally accept these minutes. Kevin, from a attendees point of view, are guys able to put up their hands or come in and shout if they have any objection? How does that actually work?
They are all allowed to speak. They've got permission to speak, and as I acknowledged last week that I've spoken to several members as well. Karina's just put her hand up.
Okay, well, Karine, yep. Do you have objections to the previous minutes?
No, I was accepting them. Oh, it was accepted. Sorry, apologies.
Okay.
And
So yeah, does anyone have any objections? Okay, no objections. Kevin's note that the minutes then have been formally accepted. As you can see, next on the agenda is a reviewing of our financial reports and the proposed budget for 2022. Has Robert been able to join us as yet, Kevin, or not?
He's not been able to join us. I've just had a note from Ian Worth that's saying Zoom is currently down. Whether that's a global issue or there's an issue.
I doubt it. We're all on it, Kevin.
I have gone back to him to say, well, we're all on it, but it would seem that maybe Robert and Ian are struggling to get in.
Okay, well, Anne, could you take us to the next slide then, Kevin? And if Anne could take us through then, please.
All right, good morning all. I will do my best. The profit and loss, we've just to refresh everybody's memory, because obviously last year was a bit of a strange year. I think we did have an AGM, but I can't remember it. So we've put together the last 3 years for you, 2018 to the end of last year. I think overall it's quite healthy. The meeting expenses, we didn't have any meetings at the IET last year, obviously due to COVID. So the meetings were from previous year. I think that was only 2, looking at the costs that are there. Otherwise, I think it's fairly straightforward. I don't know if anybody's got any comments so far. We had a couple of bad debts, you'll see, at the end of December, where members had either left. What I generally try and do if it's early on in the year is actually void the invoice so it doesn't cause too much extra admin for both myself and other companies. But occasionally the companies put it through their books and they then ask for a credit note. So unfortunately, then we'd have to call it a bad debt.
Andy, I could just ask, I mean, I should have asked this previously. I see sort of on the income and the membership fees, there seems to be a drop between 20 to 2021. I thought our membership had increased.
Yeah, the membership has actually. Well, it's sort of swings and roundabouts, to be honest. But yes. I'm
thinking aloud here. Was this not, because at a lot of these sort of events, we have people paying to attend to bring their guests along, I suppose that. Yes,
yes, yes, exactly, Des. It will include, certainly not this year or last year, but 2018 and 19 included people's guests. So the last 2 years are straightforward, plain membership fees.
Yeah, I think it is sort of worth mentioning to everyone on the call. We have discussed, you know, sort of possibly sort of charging for guests to attend these virtual events, but because there has been sort of quite a saving during the year, and we haven't hosted any sort of physical events, we have not done that as yet to sort of keep that part at a reasonable level. Sorry to interrupt there, Anne. Yeah.
That's all right.
Just another comment from me, Anne. I think in 2020, when we had to cancel the Institute of, the electrical engineers, that we had to pay a cancellation fee, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yes, that's well noted. Maybe that should have been put separately. I don't know, to be honest. But actually, I think that's, if you go down to meeting expenses, there's the £4,202.18, and that, I believe, is the cancellation charge. So that, you know, it wasn't actually a meeting. That was the cancellation charge.
That's correct.
It is.
It is.
Okay.
And I'm not sure. Robert has joined the call.
Right.
Just want to find out, Robert, are you okay to take over now? Robert is on the call. Can you hear me, Robert? Okay, and I think.
Sorry, Kevin, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Are you okay to take over from Anne?
Yes, okay, yeah. Well, yes.
We've done the profit and loss. I think we've probably covered that, and I've answered a few questions. So possibly go to the next slide. I don't know if you're happy.
Yes, if there's no further questions on the profit and loss, we can move to the next slide. Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robert.
No problem. My apologies for being late to everybody. Gremlins and so on and so forth. So here's our proposed budget for 2022. Obviously, given the circumstances we've just gone through in the previous year, the left-hand column is a bit more sparse, but we're hopefully, with everything opening up and things changing, we're we're going to be in the position to resume service as normal. Obviously, in the meantime, we've tried to make sure that the offer has been kept up to a high quality with the various webinars and so on and so forth, which we've been able to arrange with customs and the other organisations dealing both with Brexit and the other challenges that we've obviously had to go with that through due to COVID. In that respect, sorry, I just need to make that a little larger. Yes, so in that respect, this is the proposed budget for the coming year. There's obviously the increase, we anticipate increased expenditure on our meeting venues because, of course, we haven't been able to get into them in the past year in the way that we would have wanted to. So if there's, I think it looks relatively, it is fairly straightforward, just to try and make sure that we've got a good eye on what's going to happen in the future. Anne, did you have anything to add to that?
Yes, I was just going to point out that the bank charges are reasonably high and have been increased, and this is due to when a member pays by PayPal, and we're charged £15.66, I think it is, for each transaction, and that obviously accumulates and does bump the charges up on top of the normal bank charges.
Mm-hmm. We have discussed ways of reducing that, haven't we? But I think capacity is a matter, is the issue on that one. And sorry, that was the only thing that I'd missed on that?
Yeah, it was just that is quite a bit higher than it has been in previous years, so probably warrants an explanation.
Thank you. Okay. I mean, as I say, it's relatively straightforward. If there are any questions, or if anybody wants to come back to that, if they can't think of what it is now, then by all means do contact me later.
Thank you very, very much for that, Robert. Robert, I just want to let everyone know, it would appear that we are having issues with Zoom this morning. Our Director General, who was heading up the meeting, has been kicked off. He's struggling to get back on. So if you don't mind, I will take over from Des and keep to the agenda. Des is on the phone. He can hear what I'm saying, and we will do our best to keep this as professional as possible.
Certainly.
The re-election of auditors, as in the last couple of years, we've re-elected Thornhill Scott, who are at 65 High Street in Harpenden and Hearts. They've managed the accounts for us for several years now, and we feel they do a good job, they do a professional job, and they keep us on the straight and narrow. So we've re-elected them again. Any comments, please let me know. We then come to the election and re-election of the management committee. We'd like to extend a personal thank you to Dave Merritt. Dave Merritt has been an Acita member for many, many years. In actual fact, I think it's probably not long after Acita started. Dave joined the management committee, has been a very profound supporter of Acita and has worked with the committee on many projects over the years. Dave is actually retiring from his role with his company, and we wish him all the very best in his retirement. And in support of Dave, Dave will become an honorary member of Acita. And so we'd like to thank Dave for everything he's done. Retiring members who are eligible for re-election in terms of the paragraph 13.3 of the Articles of Association are Corina Nabivar, Richard Wade, Ian Worth, Robert Heiner. I'm pleased to say all four wish to remain on the board of Acita and are duly re-elected as board members again. As you all know, this is a 3-year cycle, so we're really pleased and delighted that they've all accepted. We also have a post. Lorraine Bedlam has been managing our northern meetings as a member of Acita, not as a committee member. And Lorraine would like to take a seat on the board of directors of Acita, and she's proposed by Des Hiscock and seconded by Dinesh. And if there's any comments there, please let me know. And but we're pleased to have Lorraine on. As I say, she's already actively working with Acita, so we think she'll be a good complement to the team. That brings us to the last slide. As I say, I do apologise that Zoom seems to have played up a little bit. As a committee, we've been using Zoom for well over a year now. And this is the first time that we've had any issues. So whether there is a global issue, I don't know. We'll be looking into it, and we'll get back to the committee and let everyone know. If there are any messages.
Kevin, yeah, it's David here. I'd like to thank the committee for your very kind comments, certainly for making me an honorary member of Acita. And yes, you are correct. My association with Acita does go back many, many years. And unfortunately, because of archiving, I've actually lost the date when I originally joined, but I know back in the days of Paddy chairing the sessions, it was a tremendous association then, and it still is now, although I think our environment has changed dramatically, as is demonstrated by meeting virtually like this at the moment. But yeah, I am retiring. I'm winding down in as much as I'm working less days each week. This year I'm on 4 days, and next year I have agreed with the company I will stay on for a further period of time for handover purposes. We'll probably be going down to 3, but as I'll be approaching 74 by the time I retire, I think I will have earned that. So, but thank you all again. Thank you all again.
Dave, thank you very, very much. And again, on behalf of all Acita, thank you. I'm pleased to say that Des is back on. I don't know, Des, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thank you. I've been on, but it just didn't give me the option to speak. I seem to have been pushed to sort of status of quiet listener. So Kevin, thank you very much for taking us, for taking us through that. I also, I mean, I would just like to thank Dave for the effort that he's put in. Yeah, I think the honorary membership is so that Dave can't run away. I mean, we look forward to your sort of continued participation. I mean, I'm sure Anne's going to miss that eagle eye that picked up any mistake that was ever made on the accounts, and I look forward to hosting your retirement at our next face-to-face event, Dave. So thank you very, very much.
Okay, well, thanks, Des, and I do look forward to continued attendance and obviously being available for whatever you may require in the coming weeks and months.
Good stuff. And yeah, if I could also, I'd also like to thank you, Dave, and I'd also just like to say a welcome to Lorraine. Thank you for sort of helping us out in the meantime, just as a sort of committee member. I have worked with Lorraine in the past. I mean, I know Lorraine has had sort of a previous experience with BIFA, and I'm sure she is going to be sort of a valuable member of our management committee going forward. So thank you very much, and welcome to Lorraine. And then I suppose not really the forum. We would need an extra general meeting, if extraordinary general meeting, if there was anything else that of substance. But does anyone have anything they would like to bring up under any other business?
This is Kevin here. Maybe can I just use this time just to remind the members that we are holding two events: the CDS refresher on the 6th and 7th and the 11th of October. It's been very, very well supported. We've got over 57 companies registered to attend. And we know that they're going to be bringing 6 to 7 of their staff members that will benefit from it. So if you haven't registered, please have a look at the website. And we are also firming up the agenda for the national. We are hoping to hold it at the IET on the 20th of October. Fingers crossed that it will be able to go ahead. But we are putting the agenda together, and we will be sending out a note to all members via the website very shortly.
Thank you, Kevin. Anyone else have anything they would like to raise?
Yes, sorry, Mr. Chairman, Des. Sorry, yes, I've a senior moment there, just like the whole of my morning so far, I'm afraid. Robert Heiner, the Treasurer. Just of course, in case anybody saw the phrase profit being used, that of course is surplus, not profit, because of course that's not a word we use in our accounts. So just to clarify that, and that will be amended. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Robert. Okay, as I said, we would be giving you guys some time back this morning. Unless there is anything else, I thank you all and declare the Acita 2021 AGM closed. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Des.
Bye.
Bye, thanks.
Bye. Cheers.
Thanks, Des. Bye-bye.